All right, here we go. So Brenton and Greg at the movies at home. We reviewed The Mitchells versus the Machines, which is on Netflix. The heartwarming tale of a young girl trying to find herself in the world while saving it and her oddball family from a swarm of killer robots. Abby Jacobson takes on the role of Katie Mitchell, an oddball filmmaker teen who wants to rid her family, especially her dad, Rick Mitchell, who is played by Danny McBride, as they travel cross country with her mom, Linda, Maya Rudolph, and dinosaur obsessed brother Aaron, Mike Ryan Ryanda, who also co-wrote the movie. The creator of PAL, a tech company, not unlike many that exist in our world today. Mark Bowman, Eric Andre, or Cade Cunningham unwittingly unleashes an army of killer robots on the world as the last family standing. The Mitchells must come together to fend off the end of the human race. Sorry, there got a little frog in my throat midway through. What'd you think, Brenton?
Well, first of all, I just want to say, like, part of the reason that we reviewed this, or at least that I brought it up to you to review, you said you were going to watch it probably anyway, was when we did the top 10 animation thing on Twitter, I shouted out because I had mentioned Dagan Moriarty, who is a podcaster of some renown that I'm a big fan of, and his the two podcasts that I mentioned in the episode, and he tweeted back at me and said, "Hey, thanks for the shout out. Have you watched Mitchells versus the Machine yet?" And so, I mean, if an Emmy award winning animator says watch this animated movie, I think that it would behoove us to do that.
Yes.
With that being said, this is one of my favorite movies that we've reviewed so far.
Yes.
I think that there's, and I'm not just saying that to be a suck up. There's like two, converging stories. The story of, the kind of the weirdo daughter who's ready to like get out from under her parents and that sort of thing. And, the dad, they're completely at odds because the girl is very tech savvy. Dad's very nature oriented. He's all about, fixing things with his hands, doesn't really understand phones, that sort of thing. So you have that kind of family dynamic. And then the other side of the coin is just how we as a society are like completely slaves to our technology, right? And they make the joke a couple times about like, oh man, giving your data to a big tech organization is probably not a great idea. Like some of the jokes are like, in that regard, they're very like kind of very blunt and obvious. There's moments in this where I just like laughed out loud. Like,
oh, sure.
The humor when they first encounter the robots and they try to pull off the butterfly formation that the neighbor family, who's played by Chrissy Teigen and John Legend, pull off, and it just goes horribly awry. And he crushes the wife and then runs into the wall. The characters were really funny. I watched it with my son. I wasn't sure because sometimes, like, depending on the content, he can get a little bit scared. He's 5. So, but he really liked it. He thought it was really funny. The scene towards the end where the mom like goes completely insane. Basically, she's a first grade teacher, I think is her day job.
Yeah.
And she goes nuts and like starts basically like Kill Bill killing all these robots like samurai style. It was just total insanity. And it was really funny. I actually like put this out there to a few people I know. I said, I don't want you to wait until Friday when our review of this comes out. You need to watch this now. So what did you, I mean, that's my opinion. What did you think?
I loved it. This is the best movie that we reviewed. I think it's the best movie this year that I've watched, for sure. Because it hit all those notes, like, we put in there. It's heartwarming. It is heartwarming, but it's hilarious. I mean,
yeah, it's really funny.
It is really funny. It takes a lot for me. I mean, anybody that knows me, like I have a fake laugh that everybody knows.
Right.
That just has been around me. But for me to just like flat out laugh out loud, or if I say that's funny, which is like the highest compliment I can give someone, if I say like you're funny, this movie was that. Like when the mom goes off, when the giant Furby comes out,
yes,
I lost my mind.
Yeah.
I was almost to tears because he's like the dark hour begins or
Yeah,
whatever the
yeah,
dark harvest begins. It's so funny, and it's
yes.
just my friend who actually also recommended this to me. I guess her son like immediately wanted a Furby after this
Yeah.
movie, and she's
Yeah.
like,
So did
"Have you?
yeah,
Did
both
you
my
watch the
kids.
movie?
Yeah.
Did you watch the movie?" And it's just like, it's
Yes.
so there's that moment. I like her actual movies too. The
Yeah.
dog, like her
Very
movies were
funny.
funny. The
Right.
dog just killed me every single time when they're trying
Yes.
to straighten his eyes.
Yes.
And it's just the brother being like so obsessed with dinosaurs, and then when he like trying to be around the girl, he would just like he ran out the
So
window at
awkward.
the end. It was
Yes.
so
Sorry,
funny.
old
I just
habits.
yeah, it was just it's one of those movies where it's just like every time too, it was anytime there was like a touching moment or
Yeah.
whatever, they immediately said, nope, funny. We got to
Funny.
hit you with
Yeah.
something funny just to bring you back. I
Right.
really thought it was really well written. The storyline was good. Making fun of all of us for like, being connected to our phones. It's like when they were trying to get people to go into those pods and they cut the
Mhm.
Wi-Fi and they're like, well, our pods have Wi-Fi. And they're like,
Yeah.
well, that's a good deal.
Yeah. That was a
I'll
good
take
deal.
that.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, I thought that was really funny. I just the lines are really good. The animation was cool. I thought it
Yeah.
just looked. It's the same people did the Spider-Verse. Is that one of the
That I'm
same
not sure of.
people?
I know that it's Sony, and I know they did like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. I'm not
Okay,
100% sure
I'm
that
not
it's
sure if it, but
Spider Verse.
if it isn't the same people, it kind of still had that Spider-Verse feel where like
Mm.
um things are just kind of happen. Like I love the little extra bits of things. Like anytime something happened, there'd be
Right.
like the possum stuff or whatever. The
Yeah.
little extra videos that would go aside. So I
So
thought it was just really smart.
yeah.
We haven't had a movie like this. This is our thing about make something new,
Right.
and this was that. I mean,
Yeah.
this is like literally, I mean, the movies, was directed before any of us said anything about that, but it's just like they really went on about like we need to have something that's nobody's done before, and it was just a lot of fun. I mean, it was almost 2 hours, and it felt like it
Yeah.
just flew by.
From a story perspective, I would say that it's kind of the story itself is very reminiscent of like the Croods as far
Sure.
as like the family dynamic, and you have this sort of overbearing dad who's like the boss, and this daughter who's trying to get out from under his thumb, that sort of thing. I found it a little bit weird in the I don't know if you caught this in the I don't know if it's like the after credits or whatever, and she's on like the Skype call or whatever with her mom, and the mom says, are you and Jade official? Are you bringing her home for Thanksgiving? Like kind of hinting that maybe the character's gay. And I
Mhm.
felt like it was a little weird, like to just kind of pigeonhole that in and not maybe explore that
Yeah,
through
I felt
the
that
movie.
was the one thing where I was just like, and I don't mean this in any like negative way, but it just felt forced.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like I don't have a
Yeah,
problem with the character
right.
being whatever, but it was like it just like yeah, it felt like it just got kind of like awkwardly tagged on there at the end instead of like maybe fleshing that out a little bit, which I
Yeah, it
would
could
have
have been
been
a part of the
completely fine
storyline
with.
earlier. Yeah, it
Right.
could have been a part of the storyline earlier, and then that happens, whatever. Yeah, that was just one of those things where I was just like, this is the movie was like perfect until kind of then, and it was just like, ooh, like we could have explored this a little
Yeah.
earlier. I don't know. Yeah, like you said, but other than that, I mean, really, this movie just kind of hit all the nails on the head for me.
Yeah, I think that it was it was like it appeals, I think, to kids, like with the slapsticky type humor that is found within it, like as far as like you said, the dog, the two robots, Deborah Bot 5000 and Eric, voiced by Fred Armisen and Beck Bennett respectively. They were really funny too, like you know what I mean, like trying to like
Yeah,
we're humans, see, we're humans, and like very like that was really funny. um I felt
Blake
like
Griffin's in this movie.
yeah, I saw that. I didn't
Yeah,
know like which was he, like the black robots? I'm not sure.
yeah, I'm not sure what I think so. I think he
Like
was one of those like yeah, the killer robot.
yeah, that was weird because I saw him in the credits. I was like, what? Who was that? The scenes with the neighbors were really funny. And then just the whole storyline of but like I said, it appeals to kids. And then I think that especially like the jokes about like technology and stuff like that appeal to adults too, because it's like, yeah, put down your phone every now and again and make human interactions. But this is like I said, I recommended this to people before we even, before this review goes live here at the end of the week. So this is a huge must watch for me.
Oh yeah, biggest must watch we've had for me. Biggest
Yeah.
must watch. Please just, you're listening to this, and I'm going to tell everyone I know to watch it. But if you haven't watched it by the time you're listening to this now, just finish the podcast, but then watch this.
Right.